I'm going to show you how to divide 2- and 3-digit dividends by multiples of 10 with single-digit quotients and make connections to a written method. Our first problem is 70 divided by 3. Now we need to remember the first number that we see is always my dividend. That number goes inside my division sign, okay? And the second number is always my divisor. The divisor goes outside. Okay, so we're dividing 70 by 30, and our answer is called a quotient. Okay, so we're going to divide 30 into 70. So now if I take 30, 30 is pretty easy for me to count up by, but if it's not, I could do 30, and I could decompose in my head. 30 is 3 times 10, and I could do 3 times another number to get close to 70. I know that 3 times 2 is 6, and then I could multiply by the 10 again and make it 60. So I know that 30 times 2 is 60. So I'm going to put a 2 in my quotient. 2 times 30 is 60. Now I subtract. I get 10. Now, because we're not working with decimals right now, we're not going to put a decimal and bring it down. This 10 is going to be our remainder, but it's going to be written as a fraction. So 10 becomes my numerator, and 30, which I got from my divisor, is our denominator. So the answer is 2 and 10 over 30. In order to check our work, we need to take the quotient, multiply it times the divisor, and add the remainder. And after doing that, that's going to equal the dividend. So let's take a look. We've got our quotient, which is 2. We've got to multiply that times my divisor, which is 30. So 2 times 30 is 60. We've got to take that and add it to the remainder, which is just the numerator, the 10. So 60 plus 10. That equals 70, and that should be equivalent to my dividend. And if it is, I know that it is checked correctly, and we are correct. So 70 divided by 30 equals 2 and 10 over 30. Let's try another problem. 430 is our dividend, so it goes inside. 60 is our divisor, it goes outside, and we're going to divide to get our quotient. So now, when we're multiplying 6 times a number, we want to get close to 43 because this is 10 and this is 10, so we can do 60 times a number and get close to 430. So 6 times what gets us close to 43? I know that 6 times 7 is 42, so 60 times 7 is 420. So I'm going to multiply 60 times 7. I get 420. I'm going to subtract. When I subtract, I get 10. That becomes my numerator over my divisor, which is 60. So my answer is 7 and 10 over 60. Now to check, I need to take my quotient, multiply it by my divisor. So I need to take 7 times 60. Again, 7 times 6 is 42, times 10 is 420. Now I need to add that to my remainder, which was 10. 420 plus 10 equals 430. And that 430 should be equal to my dividend of 430. And if it is, I know that my answer checks, and I've got the right answer. So 430 divided by 60 equals 7 and 10 over 60. Let's try another problem. We've got 572. We've got to put that inside. And we've got to put 90 as my divisor outside. Go ahead and pause your video and I want you to try to see how many times 90 goes into 572. But I want you to look at the 9 and the 57 and see how many times 9 goes into 57, and then just multiply that answer times 10. Then come back. I know that 9 times 6 equals 54. So 90 times 6 will equal 540. And 540 is pretty close to 572. So I'm going to multiply 90 times 6 and get 540. I'm going to subtract. I get 32 left over. Now 32 is less than my dividend, so that becomes my remainder. Becomes the numerator of my remainder over the 90. So my answer is 6 and 32 over 90. So now what I'd like you to do is to take your quotient of 6, multiply it by your divisor of 90, add it to your remainder of 32, and try to have it equal your dividend. Go ahead and pause your video now. Do that and then come back and check. You should have done 6 times 90, and 6 times 9 is 54, times 10 is 540. You should have added 540 plus the remainder of 32, and you would have gotten 572, which is equivalent to my dividend, which means my answer is correct. So 572 divided by 90 is 6 and 32 over 90. Let's practice one more. We've got 72 divided by 21. This one is going to be a little different because 21 does not end in a 0. So off to the side, we may need to do 21 times a number, but we want to think before that, we want to get it close to 72. So 21's close to 20. So if I can count up by 20s, I can see how I can get close to 72. So 20, 40, 60, 80's going to be too high, I think. So I counted 20, 40, 60, which was 3 times. So I'm going to do 21 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm going to do 21 times 3 equals 63. And I'm going to subtract. And I get 9 left over out of 21. Now the same rules apply for checking. I'm going to do my quotient of 3 times my divisor. 3 times 21, which I did here, was 63. Now I need to add my remainder, 63 plus 9. If you have to write down 63 plus 9 this way, that's fine, but I know that 63 plus 10 is 73, minus 1 is 72, and now that should match my dividend, which means it checks, and my answer is correct. I hope you're ready to try this skill tomorrow. Thanks for watching.